Welcome to the Wheel Route Fantasy Football Show. I'm Kev Wheeler. I'm your host. Tonight we're going to do an NFFC Best Ball Draft. This is my fourth one now that I'm streaming. I'm going to try to stream all that I'm going to do of them, 9 of them. This is a $150 entry fee, but what I like about this is that it has the attributes of a self-contained league with a large prize pool for like the top 20. I forget exactly how many entrants, but at that rate, there's not that many entrants. Really what you want to do in this type of league, it's a straight 17 weeks with no like playoffs or elimination at the end. So you want to play it like a self-contained league that could win. You want the high upside plays, but you want to make sure you win your league. So it's $800 for first place, and I think $400 for second place. I need to check on that and double check and make sure. But then the top 20 get regressive prizes or progressive prizes, depending on how you look at it, in the top 20. So, and 2 years ago, I took fourth. It's a nice chunk of change. I'm still playing off that here today. I'm going to go over a couple of news items first. I'm actually kind of just getting to today's news, but let's take a look. Deebo Samuel hurt his hand in practice Monday. Apparently, he jammed his finger, and there was a big to-do about it. I got the wrong mic in. Okay. Hopefully you heard the first part and I wasn't silent. Mic is in now. It looked like it was working before. I have 2 mics, but this one apparently is better. But anyway, today's news. If you didn't hear me before, well, I'll backtrack and get it later. But that's what you get for going live before you're really ready. All right. So Deebo Samuel, he jammed his finger in practice. So when he went off to the side and, caught the NFL interviewers at camp or whatever, he told them before he got on camera that don't shake my hand because I hurt my finger in practice today. I don't want to mess with it. And then the reporter's like, oh, I'd shake your hand, but I don't want to hurt it. I know you hurt your hand in practice today. Really wild that he kind of called him out on camera, but that's what you get for going to the reporters. I want to double check something. That's on. All right. So, Deebo's going to be fine. He's just jammed his finger. He's probably going to take a couple days off. James Cook is still doing his hold-in. Apparently, he was not in uniform today or yesterday, Monday. What is today? Tuesday. Losing track of all the days. I'm catching a plane on Thursday, so I better not lose track of that. Thad McConkey took part and walked through Sunday, worked off to the side for the rest of practice. I didn't know he has an undisclosed injury. I don't know what that is. Something to keep an eye on. That had gone under my radar anyway. Colts coach Shane Steichen said that Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones will both get time in their preseason opener. So it does look like a little bit of a competition. Actually, it's probably not a competition. They just want to get Richardson some run because he hasn't had many snaps in the past 2 years. They're probably splitting time in camp, so they want to get him as much time as they can on the field. That's what I'm thinking. Because a lot of teams aren't going to play their starters. We're going to see a lot of that. Um, yeah, Penix and Cousins won't play in Friday's preseason game in Detroit. James Conner, we said this the other day, but James Conner himself said that he expects backup Trey Benson to get a lot of playing time this season. Good. Conner wants to stay healthy for the end of the season. I think it's a good idea this year. I think Arizona didn't play up to their ability or capacity or the potential last year, and I think they came in more focused this year. I think you're going to see a pretty good Arizona Cardinals team this year. Stafford won't participate in the Rams jog through Monday. We'll do a workout off to the side. I mean, we're not going to see Stafford in any kind of like preseason game or scrimmage or anything until week 1 of the regular season. He'll probably come back to practice after the last preseason game in like a full capacity to get ready for week 1. He's had back issues for years. He's a tough son of a bitch that's going to play. I'm not too worried about it. The more it lingers, the more nervous you get. But like, I'm thinking that right after this, the second or last, that there are 2 preseason games, right? 2. Right after the last preseason game, he'll be back full go in practice, and it'll be like nothing happened until like he takes a big hit and his back's in a sling again. I just put this one on here because I think it's hilarious. Robbie Chosen and the 49ers agreed to a 1-year contract. He's been around so long, I forget his actual name. But yeah, Robbie Chosen is back. Not eventful. I just found it humorous. Bashal Tutin hamstring was a full participant in Sunday's training camp practice. Okay, that's a little bit old news. But hammies have a way of lingering, so let's keep an eye on that one. AJ Brown did not practice Monday. He missed the second half of practice of Friday's practice and all Sundays, present Monday, but only as an observer. So AJ Brown's getting some rest. Tyler Warren is listed as starter, no surprise. Spencer Rattler will get first team reps at scrimmage. No, that doesn't mean anything. Kendrick Bourne won't practice. He's probably going to be cut. Who else do we have? Anybody? Josh Palmer was back at practice on Monday. He's probably going to start, but he's not very good. So I don't have much Palmer at all. Just whatever's like, maybe if he ends up falling 2 rounds in ADP, I'll grab him. But Shedeur Sanders set to practice fully. His arm was injured. I knew this, but I can't remember what it was. I think he just needed to rest his arm a bit. He's not used to throwing so much. I don't know how great a sign that is. Jonathan Ward latches on with Giants. I see a lot of these like never had it or, too old or whatever running backs kind of signing with teams. It kind of makes me I guess they're just camp bodies. Cam Scatterbo, he took an MRI on his hamstring. Huh. They're optimistic about the results. All right. Maybe they're just being precautious. When you get an MRI, that kind of sends up signals to me. But maybe it's just super precautionary because he's a rookie. Kenny Pickett's back at practice. Yeah, I don't know who's going to start for Cleveland. I thought most of the year it would be Flacco to begin the season, but it seems like Kenny Pickett really wants it. And I think the Cleveland Browns would be happy if, like, he steps up. If Kenny Pickett's as good as Flacco, I'm willing to bet they start Kenny Pickett to start the season. If he goes down, then Flacco comes in. When they're like when they're 0-6 or whatever, they start to think about other alternatives. It probably won't go to either of the rookies, Shador or Dylan Gabriel, until, I don't know, week 12. Maybe they try one of them week 10 and the last 3 or 4 games of the season. Jake Moody going to win the Niners kicker's job. Not important to us here. Kenneth Walker sitting out practice again. Misses 3rd straight practice Monday. That's old news. Well, I mean, it's only Tuesday, but I backtracked today because I missed the news yesterday. We got the draft starting any second, so I'll pull out of this soon. Mason Taylor sidelined with an ankle injury Monday. Provide an update. Let me get to the top. I was close to the top. Hawkinson sitting out practice. Leg, hip, back. He's a tight end. He's been through the gamut. Practices aren't easy for tight ends. JJ McCarthy's going to play in the preseason opener. Probably, I would imagine, no more than a quarter. Get him NFL game ready. Lad McConkey did not practice Monday. We said that. Or I guess we said he didn't practice Sunday. He didn't practice Monday either. Travis Hunter listed as starting wide receiver, backup cornerback. It's probably on an unofficial depth chart. I need to look that over. All right, so let's look at the draft. I got Jamar Chase at the 101. Makes sense. Bijan Robinson goes second. Jahmyr Gibbs going third over Barkley. Yeah, I get it. Probably just mixing up exposures there. Justin Jefferson at 5 overall. I've kind of moved CeeDee Lamb ahead of Jefferson just because of this hammy. Was it a hammy injury? Or I think it was a hammy. Hamstring. I can look at my other notes. But it's just enough to put Lamb over him this year. I think Dallas is going to be really good this year. I've been moving Dak way back up my rankings. Well, not way back up, just, I guess he's still in the same tier, just a couple spots up. McCaffrey going at 7 now. I'm going to have to change my draft order preference. That's the thing about NFFC. You get to choose your preference of draft order, and 11 is my first choice because Devin Achane is likely to fall back this far. Now I can easily get what will likely be a top tier wide receiver here. And I also at times have gone running back here, but I think I have Derrick Henry in 2 or 3 of these drafts. So Puka fell, or Nico Collins. I should go with, I think I have Puka in another one of these drafts. I think I have Nico too. I'll go with Puka. I'm really torn between Puka and Nico now just because of the Stafford injury, and Puka's never super healthy either. You know what? Next time I'll go Nico. What I want to do though, it is 3rd round reversal, so I need to do this quick. But I'm going to pull up my other drafts, just the previous draft boards, just so I have a frame of reference at times. Sorry about, did I play? Yeah, little background music going, so it's not dead silent at least. I should check comments. Still getting used to this. If you're in the chat, or if you're watching live, jump in the chat, say hi. Give me a thumbs up, please. Very much appreciate it. Any comments are welcome, even the negative ones. Cool with it. Just need some activity. Get it going. Pull up those previous draft boards. Use a frame of reference to just like my exposures and ADP kind of judge. You know, ADP is different in every platform, so. And I don't think there's a published one, and the one in the draft room is. Actually, I went through it today. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. So, let's see. After Puka went Derrick Henry. Running backs tend to go a little bit earlier in these drafts, so I always like to get at least one in the first 2 rounds. And I think in the future, I'm going to set my draft preference. I started to say it earlier, to the 7 pick. I do like the ability to get McCaffrey. If he's back to full health. I mean, even if he's back to 90% health, and he's not just it was Achilles tendonitis, not a fully torn Achilles. He went to Germany for a month, got the stem cell, allegedly stem cell work or whatever. Same thing Kobe did and a couple others. You know, they get the stem cell. I don't know whether it's injections or whatever, and it seems to work on the Achilles. The Achilles used to be the injury that nobody came back from in football anyway, or no running backs came back from. So I think I'd like the 7 pick. It's 3rd round reversal, so I do have a pick coming up just to go over the picks. After my Puka pick went Derrick Henry, then Nico Collins, then Brock Bowers, Josh Jacobs, Bucky Irvin, Chase Brown, and then Jonathan Taylor. Running backs flying off the board. Garrett Wilson goes next, then A.J. Brown. That's kind of crazy. Sorry, I got to get back to the draft room. I was pulling up my previous boards, distracting myself. So I got, wow. There goes Breece Hall at 211 or 212. A.J. Brown went at 211. Trey McBride goes right before me. Oh, I'm torn. So I have Tyreek Hill ranked ahead of Ladd McConkey. I'm probably one of few. Let me check to see what else I have. I love the 55-second clock. I want to see if I do have any Tyreek Hill in this. I do not. I do not have any Tyreek Hill in this format. I'm going to go Tyreek Hill. And there goes Ladd McConkey right after. It makes total sense. So the reason Ladd McConkey's going ahead of Tyreek and ADP everywhere, as far as I know. I think Tyreek Hill can break fantasy football from the 3rd round. Ladd McConkey, I guess Ladd McConkey has the potential to be the guy we always compared him to last year, Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp was, I believe he was wide receiver 1 in fantasy one year. But Tyreek Hill has the opportunity to do what Jamar Chase did and just outscore everybody by 40 or 50 points. There's a difference between, you know, the potential of number 1 Tyreek can be and the potential most receivers can be. Tyreek Hill is probably one of 5 that truly has the potential to blow everybody out of the water, whether it's any position. So, and Ladd McConkey is apparently not feeling very well, so maybe he falls. Well, he didn't fall any further. He went with the next pick. I have my rankings loaded in here, and I'm like, really? I have this guy that low? All right. I guess I go. When I do rankings, I combine projections, a particular ADP, and my gut, really. I do subscribe to Legendary Upside, so I do use them as a reference. But they have some guys ranked way higher than I do, or way higher or way lower than I do. Then I usually look that up, and I just like another frame of reference, and can't get enough information. I'm a compiler of information. I try to gather as much information as possible and make informed decisions. And my projections aren't original either. They used to be. It's a long, grueling process that I just don't have the time and the energy for. But I basically, trying to think, in The Athletic, Jake Seeley had some great projections where you could actually manipulate them and, kind of make them your own. So I've done that with probably half the teams so far. But I'm not going to go too far from what Jake's work is either. I mean, I would also, you can compare to Mike Clay and just about anybody who does them originally. They usually publish them just because why not? They're a rarity out there. They're usually free, but they're great clickbait. I used to do my own original, but what I noticed is that when I compared them to others, the really only major difference was kind of some people, we would vary 2 to 3% on target share. And really the largest variance were how many touchdowns they were going to score. Some people go with previous touchdown rates. And really what you want there is the range of outcomes. But you want to, for drafting best ball, we want the 80th or 90th percentile outcome, not the median outcome. So that's what, projections are all relatively common. Their biggest variance is with touchdowns, which kind of matter a great deal. Less in full PPR than half PPR, but touchdowns can swing a week rather drastically, rather quickly. But anyway, so I'll take projections, combine them with a particular ADP. When that site starts to sponsor me, I will let it know. Let you know what it is. And then, use others as a reference and gather as much news and information as I can. And I love the fact that I've now ordered 250 players just so I can flow and go through this. Oh, I haven't been watching the draft at all. I've been rambling on about God knows what. All right. After Tariq went Ladd, then Kenneth Walker. Wow. Josh Allen, Marvin Harrison, Lamar Jackson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, T. Higgins. That's pretty late. 3.09. Omarion Hampton goes late. Wow. I'm thinking, the 7 hole, there's just a lot of value flying. DJ Moore, that makes more sense. Yeah. I view DJ Moore as a early 4th round pick, but Terry McLaurin, end of the 3rd. Devontae Adams sliding to the 4th is I think it's crazy. Joe Burrow, that's early. Well, not in this format. Joe Burrow goes in the 4th in this format, but I think that's way too early. Then Xavier Worthy goes. Kyron Williams after that. Mike Evans I think he's undervalued. Cortland Sutton. Alvin Kamara. James Cook. Jaden Daniels. Jamison Winston. It is my pick in the 4th round. Yeah. PPR doesn't favor him that much. But a premier tight end is nice to have. So I'm going to go with Kittle there. And I should be looking at running back because, I mean, I guess they slowed down a little bit. And there's a ton of wide receivers I like, but one I probably have him higher than I need to. So George Pickens is actually the next in my rankings, but his ADP on here, actually, let me check and see where he's gone in previous ones. Had to go before that. Where's Pickens? All right. Oh, because I got him. All right, I'll go with Pickens. My other thought was to go with Tet McMillan, but I also have him in another one. So I'm pretty even on my exposure to both of them. There are Pickens ADP in this on site, which I don't think is even accurate for this site. So they're probably using ADPs from all of their formats throughout the entire year to come up with the ADP. It's not an accurate recent ADP for best ball drafts here. But his ADP was, I think it was 64 or something, 64 or 65 in this. So I was considering pushing him, but he wouldn't have come back to me. Neither would Tet. There's a running back, though, who I am hoping comes back because his ADP is low on this, but I don't think he's gonna. So after my Pickens pick went Chuba Hubbard, Zay Flowers, Rashee Rice, and DK Metcalf. It's about, well, man, I'm going to try to get the middle of these drafts. There's so much value. But I know it's not going to come back to me all the way back. But I'm going to have to take at least one running back on the turn back to me, which means I'm going to have to reach for it. As far as I'm concerned, it'll be a reach. For this format, it probably won't be. Tet McMillan goes. Travion Henderson. It's full PPR. No, that's about right. That's about right. I need to move him up in my rankings here because it is full PPR. He's one of the ones that I think it makes quite a bit of difference. 0.5 PPR to full PPR. It is not tight end premium though, so tight ends are still rather touchdown dependent in this format because, besides the top two, McBride and Bowers will get over 90 targets, but Kittle will probably be around 70. He might be a little bit higher than that with Debo gone, but I think there are other benefactors. Well, I guess if all the wide receivers are banged up at least, so there might be a whole lot of targets even to start the season. In a format like this, week 1 matters as much as week 17. So a guy like Alvin Kamara he's gone already. Yeah, he went in the 4th. Kamara goes much higher here. Guys that we don't think will make it to week 17 healthy, in other formats, we draft them later. But in this one, if we can get 12, 14 weeks out of Kamara, we're happy. All right, after Travion Henderson went Torrey McMillan and Jerry Jeudy, Sam Laporta, Jalen Waddle, David Montgomery, Patrick Mahomes, DeAndre Swift, James Conner. All those, Tet and Waddle certainly go earlier in other formats. That's about right for a Dunze. So I probably would have flipped a Dunze and Jeudy. I mean, I would have gotten Waddle before a Dunze, but I guess it's not too far off for Jeudy. Maybe a round early is what I'm thinking. Oh, there's 2 receivers out there. 3 receivers out there. I can't believe are still there. But they'll be gone by the time it gets to me, probably right before me. So, yeah, I'm going to set my preferences for the middle. I wanted RJ Harvey quite badly. The running back, I'm going to have to, I have to get one on this turn. And I'm not going to like it. I don't think. I like it, but I can probably accept that. Yeah, I probably should have. I don't know what running back I really would have gotten when it got to Kittle. That's why it's so hard. That 3rd round pick, the 2nd or 3rd round pick has got to be a running back when you're in the 11 hole, because what you're left with at this turn is not great. Not great. All right, what went after Harvey? Jacoby Myers, PPR. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. A little higher in PPR. Chris Godwin. Godwin could be a league winner if he's fully healthy. We're all cooked. I mean, I'm stacked in other formats, but not this one. Calvin Ridley was at the top of my queue. I think he's going to have a good year. Very limited targetry there. Question. So Chris Olave was next. One of the next 2 in my queue. I mean, wide receivers are at the top of my queue, but I have to get a running back here because the guy in the 12 hole does not have one. And I got to take. I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to gamble on Pacheco. But I can get I'm hoping to get a top-notch wide receiver. I'm hoping he feels pressure to go at least one running back. Well, even if there's only really one receiver I really, really want. Others that I'm like, okay. There, Pollard. I almost took Pollard over Pacheco. Probably. Oh, you know what? No, I moved him up, but that Mecca Buka. But that's the play against Godwin, right? Like, I'm gonna get Travis Hunter. I just said earlier, first string wide receiver, second string cornerback. Yeah, I keep hearing people say as soon as they see him with the ball in his hands in a game or a preseason game or scrimmage, probably more likely a scrimmage. As soon as well, I want to say they should rest them, but yeah, he's got to play some both ways, really. Get that feel for the NFL game. Got to play with the first string on both sides, I would think. But Juwan Jennings is kind of that next guy. Like, if Juwan Jennings was staying healthy, I'd have no problem with it. And it could be just a fake injury hold-in, but it's lingering too long. Where's my note on? There we go. Prior to Ricky Purcell's return from a hamstring injury, Watkins was running. Oh, Jordan Watkins report. It's not Juwan Jennings. So this is old. He left practice after a calf injury Sunday. He's still not back from that calf injury. And actually, thought I saw he's still sidelined by the calf injury as of Monday, I guess. I don't know. Maybe the longer it lasts, the safer it is. Who knows? After me goes TJ Hawkinson in the 7th. I think I usually get him in the 8th, but I like the pick. And Jordan Addison, I think, is a very good pick. Although I guess 3-game suspension or so will hurt a little bit more in this format compared to others. Travis Kelce, I feel like that's early for him. There's another tight end I have over him. Ooh, crap, I gotta start thinking quarterback. Oh no, there are some deep quarterbacks that could win these leagues quite easily. I would like to get something. What do I gotta look at? So I got Puka. So Stafford might be, if I get 4 quarterbacks, I guess I made a bet on Puka. I should just make the bet on Stafford. Or I can grab Garoppolo in like the 26th round or something. It's 30 rounds. It's quite deep. Tyreek. I really don't want Tua, but that's a backup. I'll look at Purdy and Dak and Trevor Lawrence. Purdy, Dak, Trevor Lawrence. And there's always the guy I just absolutely, oh yeah. So there's one guy, there's one quarterback that if he falls to me on the next turn, might try to push him around the turn. Just looking at my queue. Okay, so where did I leave off? After Kelce, Aaron Jones in the 7th. Yeah, actually, he was the running back I didn't want to have to draft at the last turn. Stephon Diggs has been creeping up. If Hunter had gone, I probably would have pulled the trigger on Stephon Diggs. And I keep flipping between him and Juwan Jennings in my rankings. In this, actually, it doesn't matter the format. Stephon Diggs, if he's healthy and participating, his first year with the team is always fantastic. So I feel like, well, I guess with Houston it wasn't fantastic, but only because he got injured. He was having a pretty good season. Not great, but at this price, phenomenal. Khalil Shakir has been hampered with a high ankle sprain, actually. So we may not even see him week 1. So I'm surprised he hasn't fallen further. Bo Nix, I think that's too early for Nix, and Caleb Williams too here. Ricky Pearsall, Mark Andrews, I really like. I've been since Likely went down, even though Likely will be back week 1. We now know that Mark Andrews is at least going to have he's going to have the routes to start the season. So yeah, I've been pretty high on Andrews. Now that I think about it, though, I've been drafting him a lot on Underdog, and that may not be the format for him. But Andrews can score touchdowns, even though he literally dropped the ball in the playoffs. That just had to hurt. Tyrone Tracy in the 8th. This is format. Running backs go earlier than they should. But that's probably what you'll see in redraft as well. Maybe even earlier. Caleb, I talked about. I feel like he could have a great season, but I mean, I prefer Mayfield and Kyler Murray to him. Definitely. Jaden Reed, if he's healthy, I feel like Jaden Reed has a chip on his shoulder now since they drafted a wide receiver in the first round. So I'm pretty high on Jaden Reed. I have quite a bit of him. Cooper Kupp, I feel like that's early. Then again, it could be just fine. It's my pick. Prescott just went. So do I want Debo, Matthew Golden, Jordan Mason, Jaden Higgins? No, not Jaden Higgins. Not yet. No, I'm going to look at quarterback, and I've been getting him everywhere. Actually, I might get 2 quarterbacks. I've just been getting Justin Fields everywhere. I don't care if he's stacked or not. And I need to slow down because I think I do have him in every draft I've done here. Oh no, not every one. No, just one other one. Okay, then getting him end of the 8th is fine. Because what do I want to do? Yeah, Etienne, Jordan Mason, no thank you. Prescott already went, so I'm going to double tap quarterback here and get Purdy. And maybe even just on the way back, Trevor Lawrence, if he's still around. Now I passed up Deebo Samuel and Matthew Golden. But I learned, what night was it? What's today? Tuesday, Sunday night? Was it Sunday night? I got Jaden Higgins in the 13th round. So people stop, they really slow down on wide receiver right about now. Ooh, there's a couple out there. I'm not sure who's watching. If you're actually in this draft and you're watching me now, let me know. Let me know. Just say something in the comment. Tell me what team you are. So I don't want to talk too much. I've always preferred listening to these and thought people should do just to record it, but live streaming apparently brings in more customers. So I want to start to monetize this at some point because it does take a lot of my time and effort. So hit that like, leave a comment, let me know. We can make this interactive. All right, so after my Purdy pick, Drake May went, then Matthew Golden, Keon Coleman, Michael Pittman. I guess it's not. The wide receivers aren't slowing down. J.K. Dobbins. That's It's a lot earlier than I'm willing to draft him. A lot earlier. All right. No, let me see. All players. The selection at wide receiver dwindles considerably as well, but I do have a couple there I want. Not going to go back to tight end yet. I was listening to a podcast today, and I think they were talking about PPR scoring. It might have been half-point PPR, but in average points per game, Kittle was the number one tight end last year. So, and Kittle is on more championship teams and qualifier teams than most tight ends most years because he has peaks. Best ball scoring, he is fantastic. I mean, he's not bad for redraft either, but he's a very high upside play. He can be a low floor at times when everybody's healthy, but like Deebo's gone, none of the receivers are healthy. Kittle should really put it away this year. He's not usually a target hog, but that's what it was. When Deebo's out, his points per game went up by like 2 per game, 3 per game, which is ridiculously. It doesn't sound like much, but it's insanely high. You know, the difference between the quarterback 1 and the quarterback 12. Well, quarterback has a larger variant of point usually at the top. But when you're talking at this level, you know, at tight end especially, 2 points is a massive jump. 2 points per week is a massive jump. And at the end of the season, that's 34 points. If they're in healthy games, anyway. And when he's injured, I'll have plenty of backup for him. All right, so we are in the 10th. I do have Jaden Higgins as my next highest ranked receiver, but I'm going to just hold off on him and see if I can get him. Got him in 13th last week. We'll see. I guess the gap between 11 and 12 is quite large. Let me look at quarterback real quick. They're going to take my guy. Zach Charbonnet is a good running back pick. I actually need to look at running backs. Scam Cataboo. It is double-digit rounds, so I get Mixon. I can get those guys probably. I should probably think about it. All right, so where did I leave off? Dobbins. Deebo went after that. I almost drafted him. Evan Engram goes at the 9-9. Then J.J. McCarthy. Ray Davis. Wow, that's super early. Marvin Mims. That's super early, too. Jared Goff at the 9-10 turn. Then David Njoku. Good pick. Christian Kirk. A little bit early. A little bit earlier than other formats, but I get it. In PPR, that will work, and especially where week 1 counts as much as 17. Then Justin Herbert goes, Jordan Love, Zach Charbonnet, I would have liked, CJ Stroud, Dalton Kincaid, Scam Cataboo. That's my new name for him. Like he's a scam. Okay, it wasn't that funny. Man, he's gonna. I know. Well, you know what? I don't need to draft quarterback here. There are others, but I do have Travis Hunter. I kind of want that stack. And I think Trevor Lawrence has slipped way further than he should. I honestly think, I mean, the whole tier's about the same, but Lawrence should absolutely Let me just take a look. Actually, it might come right around the turn. This receiver staring me in the face. Ooh. Or do I take a gamble here on Joe Mixon? I mean, what's the likelihood that he doesn't play at all? Ramondre Stevenson just went, for Christ's sake. I only have 4 receivers, and there's... Well, that was the one receiver. There's another receiver that... So, right now, I'm between Brandon Ayuk, which would go with a Purdy stack, or Joe Mixon in the 11th round. I went with Mixon. Foot ankle is extended offense. Be reevaluated closer to the beginning. Oh, maybe that wasn't good. Mixon is currently on the active non-football injury list due to ankle injury. I thought maybe he was just kind of had a small setback. All right, I won't do that again. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I won't do it again. I had to get it out of my system. It feels dirty. Can't do it again. Can't blame a guy for trying. I guess you can, but it is what it is. And I went running back with. First of all, I also heard today that Chubb looks like an old man in camp. There goes Jaden Higgins. Yeah, he isn't who I would have drafted there anyway. Well, I guess he was next in my queue. Now I know where he goes. Like 10th, 11th round, fine. Luther Burden's now going in a range that, like, he's being appropriately drafted now. Luther Burden in the 10th. Jaden Higgins in the 10th. Christian Kirk in the 10th. Fine. I don't know where the hell. Marvin Mims is way too high for him. I went over them already, though. After Mixon, Tajay Spears goes, and was that the other running back? That is the other running back I would have contemplated drafting. Actually, yeah. I should have gone wide receiver there. Well, sorry, I keep going back and forth. I just saw like 5 running backs that I'm like, ooh, I could take a couple of them, but chances are I may not get any of them. There's about the same amount of receivers, though. Ooh, tight ends look good. Tight ends look good. Jalen McMillan. That guy's out of his mind. Unless there's some news that, like, Mike Evans passed away or something. I shouldn't joke about that. Trey Benson, the 11th. Yeah. I got to start that is where I got to get him. Isaac Garendo, that's too early. I won't do that. He stacked, he handcuffed McCaffrey. Way too early for a handcuff. Jake Ferguson, not without Dak. Wow. That's early. Although Kincaid and Kraft going in the 10th, that was too early for them. Javonte Williams in the 11th. I think I did that one time. At the 11th round, running backs start to go because everybody's confused on who to get, but they're all behind at running back or feel like they are. Quinshon Judkins, no thank you. the Javante and Judkins and Garendo picks make me feel not so bad about Mixon. Although Najee Harris was actually, I thought he would make it back around. He has in previous drafts. Let me just look. Sunday, Najee Harris. Sunday, Joe Mixon went in the 10th also. But Najee Harris went the 14th on Sunday. Whoa, is that Sundays? Yeah, in Sunday's draft, this format, this style, Najee went in the 14th, so I thought he would make it back to me. I exclaimed Jaden McMillan already. Tank Bigsby, I was hoping would make it back. All right. Yeah, running backs in this one are going like, yeah, wildfire. So, and might have upside, but are scary. So, Quentin Johnson in the 12th, way too early. There's running backs and tight ends that need to be Purdy, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields. Wide receivers. Yeah, there's probably about 5, but they'll be taken in the 5 picks right before me without fail. 2 running backs. One, 2, 3, 4. Dominic, thank you for taking him. Somebody took Tua. Oh, wait, where did I leave off? So after Quentin Johnson, Tyler Algier, Rachaad White. Yeah, in a PPR format, Rachaad White. It's a good pick. Matthew Stafford. See, very glad I triple stacked. Well, no, there's still a couple of quarterbacks out there that I really like. And usually they're long gone by now. All right, Jaden Blue, Austin Eckler, Tua Tagovailoa. Thank you. I can't pronounce Tua's last name. Darnell Mooney, Dylan Sampson, Rashid Shaheed. There are a few wide receivers that I'll be happy with, but only one running back. But there's tight end. I'm gonna get Bashal Tootin. Hope one of my receivers comes back to me, or I can go with that tight end. Well, I want. He went with. They went with Penix at the turn. Leave me my Ayuk. And there's a tight end here that I really, really want, but Ayuk is stacked with Purdy. Maybe I should look. He's on PUP. But he's mentoring positional mates. Okay, so he's being part of the team. All right, Clint QBX said, it's been awesome having my Ayuk as a mentor, his positional mates during individual drills and walkthroughs rather than just isolated doing his rehab. Okay, he's with the team. He's participating with the team. That's a change in attitude from Ayuk, and that makes all the difference. All right. I got some injury risk players, but man, the upside is pretty tremendous. I'm feeling pretty good. I'd like to like to grab at least. I passed up a tight end that, man, I think could really do something this year. And when he goes, I'll say it. That's Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson going in the 13th. Jesus, I need to be more patient. So, like, okay, now I think I have two Fields teams. Is it two? One. But I got Fields at the 8-10, so I can't complain about that. I really like Lawrence. I didn't think he would come back to me. That's why I just jumped on Purdy and double tapped it. I'm not mad at my quarterbacks. Just like I like Anthony Richardson a lot in the where he's going. So let me just think. 13th round. Actually, that was like 3 weeks ago now. He went on the 13th. Last week, I think this was last Thursday, he went in the 14th to me. So I got him in the 4th. I got Anthony Richardson in the 14th, like in the 11 hole, 14-11. Last week. And yesterday he went about the same, well, a little bit later in the 13th. But he's creeping up, which makes sense. Makes sense. After Richardson goes Braylon Allen, Romeo Doubs, Rashad Bateman. This is Hollywood Brown. Like, I like the receivers in this round. I'm surprised I fell that far, though. Maybe I have to look and see where he's going in previous drafts. But Tyler Warren is the tight end. I would have drafted had Ayuk been gone. And then we see this Colston Loveland and Kyle Pitts go. I would have loved for them to come back. There's still two tight ends that maybe three that I have my eye on the way back. There's still a receiver that's one of these same tier receivers. After this, there's one receiver worth drafting, I would say, in the next 5 rounds remaining. I'll have my eye on another one, but I won't draft them before round 18. Yeah, round 18. There's one receiver I want in the next 4 rounds. One receiver I want in the next 4 rounds. And then we see the rest of the quarterbacks start to go. Cam Ward, Geno Smith, Russell Wilson. So, like, I need to rethink this maybe and, like, do a... if you don't get Ward or Geno as your third quarterback, you're kind of screwed. Hunter Henry goes. Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers also went way too early for them, even if you are desperate for a third quarterback. I would rather Jimmy Garoppolo than Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers. But Hunter Henry goes. He's going to be a target hog if he stays healthy. That's the key. Ooh, Jonnu Smith too. I need to get him. I need to get Jonnu in the right ranking spot. I think I have him lower, or maybe I just overlooked his name in general. Wide receiver Cedric Tillman. I missed him. I like that pick. 14th round is where I would like to draft Cedric Tillman. There's still one other receiver, though, that he's probably dropping because of preseason game. Anyway, Daniel Jones, no thank you. Jerome Ford. What are these running backs? I guess I can wait on running back a little bit. I'm gonna get sniped, but it's not even sniped if he's like 3 rounds past ADP. Like, I just don't get it. I have 3, like, four rounds ago, he was on my radar. And dude's gonna time out and get him. Nope. Trey Harris is still there. I don't care about your Keandre Lambert Smith or whatever else. KLS, is that it? I think that's it. Trey Harris was 2nd round pick. Wow, why do I blank? Yeah, I think he was a 2nd round pick. No brainer. He's a big wide receiver. Oh, I should have given a little analysis on him. Where do I? All right. Got to think about that. So, before the season started, I never thought this guy would really be on my radar as a tight end, but Brenton Strange. I thought I just saw something that he was hurt, but maybe I read something that he was sitting on the side resting a little bit. I don't have his totals for last season, but he ended the season on a pretty good note. He finished with 4 receptions for 60 yards against Indianapolis. Well, his big game was against the Jets. 73 yards on 11 receptions. Got to get that in. Couple big games mixed in, and big games, it's like 3 for 50, 3 for 60, 5 for 50. But and just a couple of touchdowns. Yeah, he's a little. Oh, but Evan Ingram was hurt most of the year, was he not? Or just underused? I gotta get my brain right. A lot of people are higher on Brenton Strange than I am, but he stacks well with Trevor Lawrence, so we'll see. Roshan Johnson goes. Jalen Wright goes. I had them on my radar. I think there's a couple other running backs that are, I don't know if they are sliding in this draft now that I think about it. Yeah, everything else is kind of a dart throw, but I'm going to start throwing those darts soon. Oh, yeah. All right. So only 2 running backs that I'm interested in if they come back to me. Zach Ertz goes after Roshan Johnson, and Nick Chubb goes after Jaden Wright. Good riddance. Cool. Peace. All right, let me move these 2 running backs at the top of my queue. They'll probably be gone. Wide receivers, I said, there's not really much I'm interested in. I have 6 receivers. Receivers will be my last few picks. I would like a couple of running backs. Running back and tight end is what I would like to do at the next turn. And then still no kickers or defenses. I guess they start to go in the 16th. We'll start to see defenses go, which is the way back. I don't really care about what defenses I get. I care more about it's team kicker, but I care more about the kicker. But for some reason, defenses go first. Just about every platform I can think of. But as long as I get 3 of each, no big deal. I would prefer top 2 in the top half, and then 1, before they're depleted. But I say it every draft. All the onesies positions you're better off with 3, especially in a 30-round draft. You have plenty of space to draft them. So it's really, in my mind, it's more of a 24-round draft than 3 kicker and 3 defense. So I always want to also focus on getting 3 tight ends and 3 kickers. I'll almost definitely get 4 tight ends in this format. And sometimes I get 4 quarterbacks. But only if certain guys fall far enough for me to do it. I will have 4 more running backs. I'll have 8 running backs and at least 8 receivers. And that still leaves leftover, I believe. But give yourself a little leeway at the end, a little leg room, stretch and play and have fun. All right, so where did I leave off? Nick Chubb, Adam Thielen. Forget about him in this format. He probably is. Actually, he's really good in this format. I need to check myself and make sure I get him up a little bit. Blake Corum, 15th round, seems early, but this format, running backs, as you've seen, fly off. Xavier Legette in the 15th. I felt like I drafted him too early in the 14th last night in a stack. He was my biggest mistake in the draft, I think, last night. Where I could have gotten Najee ahead of, instead of Legette, and maybe Legette would have come back around. I could have stacked Bryce Young with somebody else. Bryce Young this year, but actually, if I think about it, it's like 12th, 13th round pick. Maybe I can get him and Anthony Richardson. If I'm at the turn. I'm facing away from the mic. I hope y'all can hear me when I'm facing away. Oh shit, my pick. Actually, I'm gonna go with Woody Marks. And man, that's a handcuff, but that's actually not a bad idea. Now I have, this is the problem. Houston's probably going to either trade for or pick up. Houston could trade for somebody like Alvin Kamara or Travis Etienne and shoot me in the foot. I think I should stack Justin Fields here. Let me just check. Yeah, 15th last night. 14th before that. Okay, so I'm going to get Mason Taylor so that Fields has a stack, even though Mason Taylor's a little banged up. There's another running back that I really would like and actually had higher and just couldn't pull the trigger on because, let me see. I know last night he went earlier than I thought. All right, so last night Woody Marks went in the 17th. The other running back I'm eyeing up, I feel like went much earlier, but no, Went later. Okay. Okay. Crossing my fingers, not saying anything. Don't know quite who's listening. If you're listening, say something in the chat, especially if you're in this draft. Just if you're not in this draft, say not. There's so few of you I can count. But yeah, if you're watching, say hi in the chat. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like, please. Appreciate. All right. Let me just. So who's going? So defenses are starting to go, and actually coming back, I might have to get 2 defenses. Kind of overlook that. Hoping there's a lot of people not used to this format, and defenses kind of last. So we got Marshawn Lloyd went the pick right after me. I think he's expects to return to practice or has returned to practice in limited capacity, but that guy gets hurt more than any player ever that I can remember. So defenses, we've got Broncos went first in the 15th, and then the Eagles and the Steelers go in the 16th. Then we see the Texans, the Bills, the Vikings, the Ravens, Lions, and Chargers going in the 17th, along with Joe Flacco. All right, I guess I see it. Oh, that's their second quarterback. They got Lamar early, but they kind of shot themselves in the foot. We're probably going to get 2 Cleveland quarterbacks, I would think. Chigakonkwo, Jalen Noel. These are the good dart throws that start to go. I didn't notice. I think I left off on Leggett. Demario Douglas was a good pick. Alec Pierce, Gesicki, Wandale, Jarquez Hunter, Cowboys kicker, Pat Freiermuth, Eagles, Keenan Allen. He ain't gonna play again. Bashard Smith, good pick, running back. I would have taken him. Kate Otten went, then I took Woody, then the defenses, Mason Taylor, Lloyd. Sorry, Chikori Kwaski Merritt is what I wanted to really come back. Bah! Sorry, that was obnoxious. Yeah, I should have gotten him instead of Woody. But we'll see. Andre Yoshivas, I don't think should be drafted before the 20s, mid-20s. Elijah Mitchell, good pick, running back. Pat Bryant, good pick. Will Shipley, Green Bay Packers defense. Darius Slayton, good dart throw. Kansas City Chiefs, Dallas Cowboys. I'm going to need to get 2 defenses here. What am I looking at? I try to avoid teams that have a lot of common bye weeks with other teams, but it's kind of unavoidable at this point. DJ Giddens, I would have liked. Justice Hill goes. So, defenses. We got San Francisco, the Rams, Seahawks. But Seahawks have a week 8 bye. Chicago Bears. I am going, well, I'm going to go with Seahawks. I don't know. It's kind of 6 of this, half dozen of the other. The 49ers have the same bye week as a defense that I would like to get. I would have to do it on a turn. The Rams. I could have gone with. But I don't know, the Seahawks, the projections are last year's. I think it's last year's. Last year's Seahawks outscored each of those. All right, so he went with 2 kickers, or they went with 2 kickers because they already had 2 defenses. So they may not get any others. Yeah, I'm gonna grab. There's a defense that I commonly get, so I can't do the Rams because they have the same bye week. Actually, I'm gonna do the Bears. They don't have the same bye week as anyway. Well, they have the same bye week as the Falcons of the teams that are remaining for defenses. I could have reached for one defense, but I feel like there's a slim chance they could fall, but we'll see. All right, so I'm just going to queue up a couple defenses here just so I'm ready on the way back. There is a receiver I have on my radar, but which I think he'll be there. I really need to look at the running backs though too. So I'm good for a long time. I don't need to draft this receiver, but it's a stack, so I'll probably get it if it's there. Otherwise, I would literally wait until like the last 3 rounds to get maybe 2 or 3 more wide receivers. Yeah, I would like this receiver. After my pick, 2 more kickers went. Again, it's team kicker, not like the specific kicker, which I like. I feel like all formats should go that way. Injury risk at kicker can really in best ball can really shoot you in the foot. New York Jets went. Kareem Hunt goes. I think I don't think I have any Hunt. I think I need to re-examine my position there. I mean, I think he's lost it, but that would have been just as good as. Well, no, Woody Marks is a better handcuff than that. Woody Marks is going to play 3rd downs, like almost guaranteed, or passing downs, almost guaranteed, which actually should be a lot in that offense. So maybe they don't go out and get anybody that'll take that role. They'll just get a pounder or grinder. But Kareem Hunt, if Pacheco isn't back to full health, Kareem Hunt will get the first touches in that offense in the beginning of the season. But I think everybody's hoping either Bashard Smith or Elijah Mitchell. If Elijah Mitchell can stay healthy, they paid him. All right, we see the Rams defense and the Niners defense go. Those were at the top of my queue, but just didn't feel them. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Solid run defense, but bad pass defense. Probably won't be in line for a whole lot of fantasy points. Texans kicker. Cardinals defense, Patriots defense. That's the sneaky one I was kind of hoping would make it around back to us. They had a bad year last year, but I mean, I've literally seen the Patriots. I mean, it was probably like 10 years ago, maybe longer ago. But you didn't win fantasy if you didn't have the Patriots defense that year. It was uncanny. It was ridiculous. That was MFL 10 days. And then we see Kansas City kicker. Yeah, just personal preference. Don't like doing that. Okay. Leave my notifications on because I can't miss certain texts. After that, Demarcus Robinson goes, which this is a lot higher than I've ever seen him go. But I do like that pick. I feel like he's going to be a touchdown scorer for San Francisco. And then Noah Gray, that's a bet against Kelsey's health, but I've made that bet in a dynasty league. Jack Besh, reports aren't great, but he was drafted highly. Miles Sanders could get first and second down work, at least to start the season. Tyler Lockett in PPR, I actually did move him up recently and just didn't grab him yet. All right, it is my pick. The defenses I had, I'm going to get a defense coming back around to me. So I'm going to stack Diami Brown. It's about the right time for him. Just because I have Trevor Lawrence. So I could probably stretch the defense. Necessarily have anybody else. Ooh. Yeah. I just saw a running back that I have very little of, but have wanted. Let's not cue that up yet. I should grab a kicker because the kickers are starting to go. There's a running back. It's really tempting me. Brisket, no biscuit. Taj Brooks. Thank you. All right, so defenses and kickers are going to have to be probably going forward. These kickers? Yeah, these are kickers. Hold on, I want to queue up the defenses first. Then again, well, let me queue up the defenses first. And I want to stay from bye weeks 8 and 5. Ooh, there's a few 8s left. Ooh. Uh-oh. My options at defense are pretty thin. I'm hoping everybody else is like, they suck. But there's at least 1, 2, 3. At least 3 teams are going to get a defense. There's only like 8 left. That's the one team with 4 defenses. But everybody kind of backed off in that round. So I'm going to stress about defenses for the next 10 minutes. So if you're listening to a recording, skip that part. If you're watching live, say something in the chat. And please give me a like, thumbs up. Just let me know who's there, who's out there. All right. After Taj Brooks. Oh, Taj Brooks. Drafted, is he 4th or 5th round? He's not very high. But Samaje Perine is the only thing in his way. And although Samaje Perine's been a thorn in a few different backs' sides over the past 3 or 4 years, he's got to fall off at some point. Moss is gone. Broken neck. You know, sorry about your luck. No, not sorry about your luck. Like, he was fun while he lasted. Thanks for your service. Maybe that's what I should say. And then if Chase Brown goes down, and so Chase Brown last year with more touches became less effective. The more touches he got, the less effective he got. I mean, he was fine. The offense exploded the last half of the year, but they're probably going to be looking for somebody to spell him time to time, and Taj Brooks could end up with a nice role in that offense. and I don't have much of them, so I decided, what the heck. All right. After I picked the Colts defense goes, Tampa Bay's kicker goes, DeAndre Hopkins, good pick. He could definitely add some value to that offense if he stays healthy. Dontavian Wicks, I guess he's back on the practice field, but yeah, best ball pick. It's very much a best ball slappy pick. And then we see the Falcons defense go. Dalton Schultz, he's a compiler of points, but he's not going to be anywhere near the top 4 in targets on his team. Just not that they just don't. He's an ordinary tight end, and he relies on being heavily targeted, but he's not going to be in that offense. Looks like Deontay Thornton is going to be a starting receiver, or at least heavily used. Oh, they double tapped that fish and Deontay Thornton. I like that move. I like that move a lot. They could both end up playing at the same time. Then we see Denver Broncos kicker Cole Kmet. Yeah, like Cole Kmet's running with the second team. Ooh, but he cuffed Loveland. I like that maneuver. Not too bad. Then we see Team 1 double tap defense. That is going to make me nervous. Bengals kicker. Kickers are starting to fly too, so I got to get a defense and a kicker here. Ugh. I hope kickers go slow. I definitely grabbing Taj Brooks there was. Oh, Jordan James. I got to move him up. Garendo. Did we read that earlier? Or I saw that somewhere earlier. Isaac Garendo came off the practice field. Jackson Dart. What? Oh my God. Oh, he had Jaden Daniels and Anthony Richardson. He certainly didn't need a third quarterback there. There's better. Well, no, actually, Jackson Dart, second half of the season, it's a better pick than Russell Wilson, like 5 rounds earlier. That's crazy. Okay, good pick. I was thinking, who was I thinking? Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is a bad pick, especially in the 14th. Holy cow. All right. Here we go. I will get a defense. Not a very good one. But actually, I'm going to grab kicker first. '49ers kicker. Cardinals kicker. I could probably. I'll get Falcons kicker. And then I'll get a defense on the way back. Just because I know those guys are probably not going to draft any. And even if he does draft 1 or 2, it's all the same. Let me just flip and just see the bye weeks. I can't do the Raiders bye. Titans or Dolphins? Kind of the same. I'm going to go with Tennessee's defense. Yeah. They'll probably be behind a lot and need to rush. They'd be able to rush. Well, no, that's not what I want. I should have gotten Miami's defense. Meh. No big deal. Whatever. It's like a difference of like 3 points. But they could fill in certain weeks, and it makes the difference. Can make the difference between first and second place, which is pretty big here. All right. So I'm going to be looking at 2 kickers on the way back, most likely, depending, which is all right because there isn't a whole lot. It's all dart throws remaining from here. Actually, I need to just take a glance at my underdog. I got a bunch of slow drafts going on underdog, and got to keep an eye on them. Last night I got a little out of hand. I was a lot more prepared tonight than I was. Well, it wasn't even Sunday night. After me drafting the Titans, the Philadelphia Eagles kicker goes. Miami Dolphins defense, Keaton Mitchell, which is a running back that I have in a ton of drafts, but, well, I guess I was picking them right around here. The Taj Brooks was basically in place of Keaton Mitchell. I feel like, let me take a look at my other draft boards. Keaton Mitchell. I didn't get Keaton Mitchell Sunday. He went in the 24th. A little earlier tonight than Sunday. But I got Mitchell in the 26th round last week, and I reached for him in the 22nd the week before. So where does he go here? 23. About right. If I had gotten a defense or kicker instead of Taj Brooks, I might have been looking the way of Keaton Mitchell there, but I'm hyper focused on the kickers at this point, or the team kicker, which makes it a ton easier. I just kind of blindfold myself and go. Should probably just take a look at what running backs are out there. There are a couple. There are a few I like. Actually, just a few I like. Drops off a cliff. All right, so kickers aren't really going. I'll grab one. I mean, if they keep at this same pace, I'll grab one and a running back on the way back, because there are a slew. I don't want to say a slew. There are more handfuls of receivers remaining worth drafting than there are. And actually, I'm going to get those stars off of there. Maybe one. Yeah, using the star method can be dangerous at times. I like to do it just so I get a visual of kind of what I want in the queue, but that's last night I got caught. I drafted a kicker when I want to say a tight end or something. Let me take a look. So last night I had the Chargers kicker starred in the 17th, but I really wanted either Shipley or Woody Marks. So where did I get Woody Marks here? 16th? Yeah, right about, just so and seeing that Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, that was the other guy I would have gotten had I not gotten Woody. But okay, so kickers aren't flying. Fact 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 left. Trevor Etienne, I like him. What was the other running back? Oh no, there's one. there's one. Trevor Etienne, I've been very high on lately. I got him in the 24th round of the Experts Charity Draft for Data Force. I did a little stream on them about a week ago. Highly competitive draft. All right, so I'm going to grab Ollie Gordon. It is a handcuff. Oh, I'm handcuffing too much, and probably I'm not tapped for bye weeks at all. And I don't really have Ollie Gordon yet. Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab Sean Tucker. I kind of want Ollie Gordon too, though. How many running backs do I have? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Half the kickers of the 14 kickers left. That means I got to double tap next time around, though. Does Ollie Gordon fall? Where did Ollie Gordon go last night? Oh, no, there's Sean Tucker went later than Ollie Gordon last night. I should have double checked that. Ollie Gordon went in the 26th last night, which means it's probably not going to come back to me. But I really don't want to get stuck with crappy team kickers. Yeah, it's not worth reaching necessarily. San Francisco or Green Bay. I'm going to go. Actually, I should go Dome. I went Dome there. All right, I'm going to get San Francisco. Explosive offense. Should be leading by a lot and a lot. I should have looked at their bye week too, though. 14-5 is what I can't get. So that rules out the Patriots, the Bears, and the Giants. But if I can get I don't need him. If I can, and actually I don't need Ollie Gordon. I just saw another, but I would probably prefer Ollie Gordon. Coming back. All right, so who goes? Did I hit the players that went before me? I think I lost focus somewhere. In the previous round. I'm going to go back to my defensive pick of the Titans. I went over the Eagles kicker, Dolphins defense, Keaton Mitchell. That's where I got sidetracked. Then the Bills kicker, Calvin Austin from Pittsburgh, Michael Wilson in the 23rd. Whoa. Just should not be going that far. Michael Wilson's a good pick. Then the Raiders kicker goes and the Raiders defense goes. Then Devin Neal, Isaiah Davis for 2 running backs. I had my Hugh Audric Estime. I don't even think I have ranked anywhere. I guess he's probably around 300 overall or something. Cardinals kicker is one I would have liked. Then Tyler Conklin, Theo Johnson, Darren Waller go. Those are pretty good picks this late. Ravens kicker, don't know who that's going to be this year. Christian Watson, wish you the best with that. Elijah Moore, good pick this late. Trevor Etienne, fantastic pick, would have loved him. Jalen Coker, I took Tucker, Vele, and Tutu Atwell went. Devon Vele, Tutu Atwell went. I like those late. Actually, I should start looking at what receivers are still there. I went with the Niners kicker. Then Kyle Monangai goes. Jalen Milroe is the quarterback I like late. Shador Sanders. He might get some run. Green Bay Packers kicker Trey Tucker from Vegas. Meh. Raheem Mostert, the backup running back in Vegas, I guess. That's actually a good pick this late. Jacksonville Jaguars kicker, Colts kicker. Ty Johnson is one I had in my queue. It's likely that Ty Johnson is fairly heavily used as a receiving back in that backfield, especially with James Cook holding out. I should be moving Ty Johnson up everywhere, actually. They love him. He might be the 2-minute drill back. Then we see Seahawks and New England kicker go. Jalen Naylor goes. Roman Wilson. Ollie Gordon goes. There goes my guy. Even though I have very little Ollie Gordon. It's because I have so much Devin Achane. However, Achane. That I don't have as much Ollie Gordon. And then we see the Rams and the Bears kicker go. Emmanuel Wilson, good pick. If I don't believe in Marshawn Lloyd anymore, I need to believe in Emmanuel Wilson. Need to get him up. Terrence Ferguson goes. He's a good dynasty pick, but I don't know about redraft. Saints kicker Joe Milton. Still have. There's only 4 team kickers left. Although, I gotta get. No, I only need 1. Okay, I'm gonna get a wide receiver here. Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson is likely going to be Cleveland's slot receiver. He's going to be could very well see 90+% of snaps. Could have a over 20% target share. Could be Joe Flacco throwing to him. I haven't gotten enough of him. Let me think. Panthers kicker, Titans kicker did well, or projects we did well last year. I think Panthers are probably what I want to do. Oh, no. Panthers have the same bye week as San Francisco, so I cannot do that. All right. 14-5, 14. So I'm going to go Tennessee kicker. So I have my 3rd kicker, 3 defenses, 3 quarterbacks. I should probably look at the tight end landscape there. Oh, yeah. Oh, actually, there's a couple, but there's one that I'm like to the moon on. Running back, there's one that I think is being slept on, and I think that is it. There's a slim chance there's a second running back, but I'll put tight end I want goes to the top of the queue. The running back I want goes second. Let me see if there's any other tight ends or running backs that there's mostly wide receivers from here. Oh, yeah. Before I say plenty, there's more than a handful of wide receivers I'd be excited to draft. 2 handfuls of receivers I'd be excited to draft. So after my Tennessee kicker pick, Carolina Panthers defense goes. It's their 4th defense. There's no reason to get 4 of the one of defense or kicker. Defense, kicker, cap of the 3. And I think the study years ago, was it Siegel maybe? I don't remember. Actually, I am going to put the link for this live stream in the chat. since it's so late in the draft. Give me a second. Where am I? I hope you don't get the background sound from YouTube as I go. Oh, I don't need to actually turn it on. Sorry about this. Some promoting, since very few people are attentively following. I want to actually, I'd like some people I'm drafting with to realize that no, what am I doing here? Trying to do too many things at once. I'm gonna screw something up. Copy. Draft room. Oh, I'm not up for several picks. All right. And then I'm just gonna throw the link in there. Just put. Oh, it's so dark in here. I can't see. Yeah, I'll tell them now that it's almost the end of the draft. Again, if you are watching and are drafting, and just say hi in the chat. Give me a like. Make sure you're subscribed. Turn on notifications. All that stuff. All right. So after my, what did I go through? Harold Fannin goes. Jets kicker, Giants kicker, Will Disley. Torrey Horton is one of the receivers in my queue. Panthers kicker, Troy Franklin, another wide receiver in my queue. Malik Washington, I only get him when I'm stacking him with Tua. It is my pick, and my super secret tight end, Taysom Hill, is still around. Yeah, name me another tight end that can put up 30-point weeks. All right, name me one after the 15th round. Can do it. So Nyheim Hines went a little bit earlier. That was somebody that was maybe on my radar. But I should. Wide receiver or running back. I have. Where's the count? Where's my team? Team tally. I love the 55-second clocks when I'm on the clock. 8 wide receivers, 7 running backs. I'll finish with a receiver. I'm gonna get Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary is one of the running backs that could be traded to Houston. And I had 3 Houston running backs, but whatever. Or even if he stays with the Giants, he could be very disruptive in that backfield. He is, from what I understand, an amazing locker room presence. He works hard. He's old, but he's willing to play on special teams. Kind of, I feel like the opposite of the way he was when he first started out. But we all mature. We all grow up. He's a favorite of Daboll. I believe he came over at exactly the same time from Buffalo. Maybe a different time. But I think they did work together at Buffalo. And, between Tyrone Tracy not being able to hold the ball and Cam Scatterboo being a rookie, Singletary could get some run or could be valued if cut or traded. Actually, somebody like Singletary would probably be cut and pick up, and you get compensatory picks or whatever. Trade. I suppose they could flip 7ths or something like that. You're better off just cutting them and get the compensatory pick for both sides. All right. I had one other tight end. I was looking at Oronde Gadsden possibly. But there's a few receivers. Well, there's 5. There's one in particular that I want, but there's definitely 5 that I'd be even up to 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So in the past, I've done series on backward mapping your draft. Sean Siegel called it reverse engineering. Oddly, he came out with reverse engineering literally as I was writing the 3rd of a 3-part series on backward mapping your draft. He certainly didn't steal my idea, but we came up with the idea at the same time to start, like, think about the end of your draft, plan out what you can do at the end of your draft so that you can, manipulate the beginning of your draft. And that's what I like to do. So I started running back here and didn't get another one until like the 6th round, end of the 6th. I don't usually like to do that. I usually like to stock up on. I used to get 2 solid running back, like tier 1, tier 2 running backs, and then rattle off a few receivers, mix in a tight end that I like if I can find one that I like, and then after I kind of get 2 or 3 quarterbacks, maybe there's 1 or 2 other receivers that I like, but really go back to running back there, because I know at the end of drafts, like I didn't need to do Singletary. There's plenty of other receivers here that I could have gotten instead, probably receivers that would help me more. Debatable, I guess. But because I went thin at the beginning at running back, I felt the need to get that 1 extra running back. I would rather go strong at running back in the beginning, and then there's a slew of wide receivers here that I'll put up 3 weeks where they will contribute to my lineup. 1, 2, 3, 4. I would say 4. Burton went, but he's not one of the solid ones. Burton and Tesla were in my queue, but not at the top of it. There's at least 3 at the top of the queue that I feel like will give you 3 to 4 weeks of points in your best ball lineup, and we're literally in the 30th round. After Singletary, Damian Pierce went, another Houston potential running back. Marcus Mariota went. No, thank you. And actually, I missed the round before that, but Winston and Cousins goes. They still haven't. Oh, Jalen Milroe went in the 25th. That's right. That's kind of him, and Kirk Cousins actually are the 2 quarterbacks that I can contemplate this late. Mariota, Tesla is, I think, just all hype from the preseason game. I don't see how he's going to get targets. Luke Musgrave is a good pick this late. Schoonmaker, I could see that. Jermaine Burton, I like this late. Damian Martinez, I need to remember him. I was actually looking for him earlier and got sidetracked. Ben Sinnott, I grabbed him last night. Fant, signed with the wrong team, in my opinion. Johan Dotson, actually, I need to put him in the queue for next time. Sincere McCormick, no thank you. Kenneth Gainwell, maybe. Zamir White, no thank you. Kenneth Pickett, I get it this late. Tolbert, I see this late. Cooper Rush, good pick this late, especially if you have Lamar. A.J. Dillon, probably not. Tank Dell, probably not. Jalen Lane, I get. Luke McCaffrey, I get it. So my question is, Keandre Lambert-Smith, Noah Brown, Devontae Turpin, or Hunter Renfrow? Like, I really actually like them all. The only reason I'm tempted to go KLS is because I did get Harris. Although I think Noah Brown and Kevontae Turpin are really going to do something. I am technically highest on Kevontae Turpin. I'm going to go that way. But Keandre Lambert-Smith, who's going in the 18th, 17th round of underdog drafts, is still here in the 30th round. So that gives you an idea of why I tend to push off wide receiver in this draft. You could probably notice it and see it all throughout. I started with Achane, and then with Puka and Tyreek Hill. Like, I can't deny those guys. Kittle, maybe I shouldn't go tight end that early, especially in one that hasn't in the past benefited necessarily from full PPR. But the way that offense is going, he's probably going to be the receiving focal point, at least to start the season. Then I went with George Pickens. I hyped on him. Maybe that's a reach, but last night I think he went the end of the 5th. So I just took him beginning of the 5th. The other choice, I could have gone Tet McMillan there. There was really no running backs at that point. I was considering reaching for RJ Harvey, but was crossing my fingers that he would come back, and just a few picks away. I went with Pacheco. If he's healthy, I should be good. If he's not, I'm going to be relying on Houston running backs and some dart throws later. Travis Hunter, I could not deny that. All of the receivers I'm drafting are literally like, I can't not draft this receiver. Justin Fields fell to the end of the 8th. That is the longest I've seen him go. I felt the need. I think that's the longest I've seen him go. Unless it's me that drafted him. No. I drafted Justin Fields in the 7th last draft. So getting him at the end of the 8th is kind of a no-brainer in my world. All right. So where else? Where am I? Justin Fields, Brock Purdy to stack with Kittle, and I had a feeling I could stack him with Ayuk. I didn't realize Ayuk would fall as far as he did. I kind of pushed off that pick because of the running backs that I went with after I triple tapped quarterback, getting Trevor Lawrence stacked with Travis Hunter. Came back with Joe Mixon, contemplated that. I probably won't do it again. It really actually does look like Mixon probably won't play the first half of the season. But if he does come back, I might be sitting all right. The upside on that play is tremendous, right? Like, what if this is all just a ruse just so he doesn't have to participate in training camp? I mean, let's not put anything above Mixon. 14. But the reports I just pulled up after I drafted him was like, it's shaky AF, so I probably shouldn't have. Then I came back with Bashal Tutin, which I feel like slipped a little bit. Although, yeah, Bigsby went around 12 picks earlier, about 11 picks earlier, whatever, 11 or 12 picks earlier. If Bigsby fell, I would have grabbed him instead, or I might have double tapped that. But no, Ayuk had fallen far enough. I actually contemplated drafting Ayuk where I got Mixon. For him to fall that far is absolutely tremendous for me. Ayuk may not be back week 1. He may not be back week 6, but in the back half of the season as my 5th wide receiver in the 13th round, all day. Won't deny that. And then even coming back in the 14th, I couldn't pass up Trey Harris. I was contemplating him at the Ayuk pick. In fact, my thought process was,
if Ayuk gets drafted, I would have taken Trey Harris. And even the wide receivers that went in between Ayuk and Harris shouldn't be anywhere near them. Maybe Hollywood Brown, but Tillman, Bateman, and Doubs, yeah, they all are drafted right in the right spot, but Ayuk and Harris should have gone at the 11-12 turn instead of the 13-14 turn. So I'm really happy about that. Then tight ends, I stacked Brenton Strange and Mason Taylor, mixed in a Woody Marks to handcuff Mixon in a way. Although I think they could actually coexist if they both play. So I'm not a huge fan of handcuffs, but they're kind of what Todd Burrows kind of called the stack cuff. And they're both in double-digit rounds. So Woody might have been a slight reach. I think if Bashard Smith made it to me, I would have gotten him. And Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt was the next in my... Actually, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt was ahead of Woody Marks in the queue. But I thought JCM and Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt would make it back around. I didn't think Woody Marks would, but I probably played that wrong. The whole time I'm stressing about defenses. Grabbed 2 defenses on the next pick, 2 picks. Came back. Defenses weren't exactly flying off the board like they normally do by the 20th round. So I snuck in a stack of Diami Brown and backed that up with Taj Brooks. I have very little, if any, Taj Brooks. I think he's going to factor in that Cincinnati offense for sure. I'm happy to get him. Then I went with Falcons kicker, Tennessee defense, mixed in Sean Tucker. Trevor Etienne got kind of sniped from me before the Sean Tucker pick. I was also contemplating, I think it was Ty Johnson that was the other one in my queue. I probably would have grabbed Emmanuel Wilson had I seen him. But the Sean Tucker pick, look, if Bucky goes down, that's going to be a split backfield. And Tucker had a game with 30 points last year. So he's an adequate fill-in back. If either one of them get hurt, I think you're going to see Sean Tucker have a solid role in that offense. I wouldn't even be surprised if they mix them in straight from the start. Just a couple touches to kind of relieve Bucky or Rashee from their duties for a couple downs. Then I went with the Niners kicker and Deontay Johnson. I know he looked a hot mess last year, but he's on the team of hot messes. So chances are he's going to play the whole darn season and most of the snaps. Who else does Cleveland have? And if they have Flacco thrown to him, Deontay Johnson, it could break fantasy for a few weeks, not season long. No, I'm hoping if I get 4 weeks out of Deontay Johnson in my lineup, he's already paid off his price. They come back with Tennessee kicker, Taysom Hill. I try to grab late in every draft. He can play in the tight end or flex position, and compile 30 or more points as a quarterback. Like literally, the Saints can't decide between Tyler Shuck. Would they get him in the second round? Reach. Tyler Shuck, Jake Hanner, Spencer Rattler, just some of the and there was even a fourth name in there I'd never heard of before. I swear somebody made him up. But that quarterback room is just a hot mess. So Taysom Hill is going to get run at quarterback if he can get on the field. And I think they're just slowly. He suffered an injury late last season, I think. Or was it the season before? I can't quite remember. But he's still on the team. He's on PUP, but could come off. I think I saw something where he was working on the sideline, but not extremely active, just rehabbing on the sideline. I think that's what I read. Anyway, I come back with Devin Singletary. I haven't gotten him yet, and I think he's going to get touches, cut, traded. Talked about that. And then Kevontae Turpin, Dallas has lining up at running back. And I mean, to run pass patterns mostly, or some hitch and goes and trick and gadget plays. But I would not be surprised if Kevontae Turpin sees 4 touches a game, and he's a returner. So there's always a potential there with new kickoff rules. Although I can't remember if I think he does both kickoffs and punts. I'm pretty sure he's a kickoff returner for sure. But either way, they want to use him in the offense. The only thing holding him back, I think, was a preseason DUI. He got into some sort of trouble doing something stupid. But during practices, they've been lining him up, slot, backfield, gadget stuff, even some just end around pitches. I'm sure you'll see him on a wheel route once or twice during the season. So I have some high hopes for him. Do we want to watch a couple of my underdog slow drafts? Or should it's definitely past my bedtime, but I gotta knock a few of these out anyway. So I will share my tab, and maybe I'm gonna move my screen over here so it makes it easier for me. You can see that, right? I didn't mess you up too much. All right. So I usually have somebody in queue. All right. So this squad has Jaden Daniels, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, Cam Scatterboo, so good at quarterback, 5 wide receivers. I can go basically any direction here. Basically any direction. Who is in my ranks? Actually, I probably should think about quarterback. CJ Stroud is next to my queue. I have Jaden Higgins. I've already got Washington stacked. Detroit's gone. The Saints, I just said, I don't know who's playing quarterback for them. Chicago, Williams is gone. Minnesota's quarterback. I got to go with CJ Stroud here, right? For the stack. Let me check ADP, though. Yeah. Oh. I mean, sorry. So I could go Tootin, Hollywood Brown. Oh, I'm gonna get a pick on the bounce back. That guy has 2 quarterbacks. Do I want Tootin or Hollywood? That's a tough decision for me. I think this team probably needs Tootin more than it. I don't know. I could use either one, actually. ADP. Oh, I could do Najee too. All right, so I'm gonna get Stroud with one of the picks. Just I don't have a lot of them. I can stack them. I know there's quarterbacks I could probably get coming back, like Bryce Young, Cam Ward. I can stack them, but then I'd have to be back stacking 2 quarterbacks at the same time. I will get one of them on the way back, or Geno, or Anthony Richardson, who I don't have to stack. All right, so it's 11th round. I don't want Najee yet, but I probably have to get him here if I'm going to get him. Tootin or Najee? Najee or Tootin or Hollywood? I'll go Tootin. I have him in so many drafts. Is he really going to get opportunity? This is one of the tougher decisions. I'm usually not this slow. And this is why I hate slow drafts, because I contemplate Hollywood is higher in my rankings by 1 spot. That makes this team needs running back. Doesn't need that type of running back, but I went Tootin. And then on the way back, I really have a decision. I won't get Najee. Stroud or Hollywood. God, it would suck if they both go, but chances are no. The guy at the turn has 2 quarterbacks. So, I mean, even if he does, there are 2 quarterbacks next round that I have no problem jumping on. The thing is, who would I get? If he goes Stroud Hollywood, I kind of screwed myself. Want one more running back, and I know I can get them late. I could go Quentin Johnson, but I can't stack him. I don't care about not stocking Hollywood. I guess I shouldn't care about not stocking Quentin Johnson. I probably should have gone Hollywood there, just knowing that there's like 5 running backs here that I'd be fine with if Stroud goes. You know what? Tank Bigsby would have been a better pick, and I need to move him up ahead of Tootin at this point. Just on this team, although Derrick Henry and Alvin Kamara will hold down the fort for like the first half of the season for sure. Okay, no, that's fine. I'm good with that. Although I do need to move Bigsby up. Anyway, all right, next draft. What do we have here? I just did that one. Go to this one. Out of water. Voices not agreeing with me. Looks like I have Andrews queued up, but I already have Kittle. My receivers are to stack are Rams, Atlanta, Tennessee, New Orleans. All of those are late. I could go with Purdy. Have 3 running backs. Get it. Ooh. Oh, I have 4 receivers. Of course it's wide receiver time. Let me just check ADP. But, yeah. My man Luther. Maybe Caleb comes back to me. I don't have much Caleb. Chicago could be explosive this year. I just like to kind of plot out my next pick. My next pick is in what, 6 picks? So let's just reorganize myself. Maybe I'll go with Caleb if he's there. Probably won't be. Dak slid here. Oh, no, I guess it's not. It's right around ADP. Dak should be going higher. But I guess he only really goes with stacks of Lamb or Pickens, and depends on who they get. Ooh, Drake May is a back stack I could do. I would be good with that. Why do I have just quarterback? Oh. Goff, McCarthy, I don't do without previous stacks. I could backstack Herbert. I guess technically with Hampton, he already is somewhat stacked. Don't have any Green Bay. Don't have any Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence is hard to backstack. Man, boo. Anytime I get Hunter or Brian Thomas, I am certain to reach for Trevor Lawrence. All right. Scatterboo is there. J.K. Dobbins, I don't have much of. And if he's still there in the 10th, he's worth consideration. But I'll probably go with one of those quarterbacks. Zach Charbonnet. I would actually rather have. I have Kittle, Mark Andrews, Ingram, Tyler Warren. Let me just see ADP. Just like the plan ahead. Tyler Warren is a guy I really like. But I prefer, team building. I need quarterback. It's time for quarterback. It's the quarterback pocket. All right. Got a couple in the queue there. Next. What do we have here? I'm on 2 hours and 20 minutes here, guys. So if I'm moving and talking a little slower, it's been a long day and it's way past my bedtime. But I got to get these slow drafts picked, so I figure I might as well do it on stream, right? All right. So Chris Olave, Jennings, Myers. Diggs is going earlier and earlier. I kind of didn't scoop the value when it was there, and now, well, I've gotten him in a bunch of these slow drafts. But all right, so it seems in my rankings, it's like all wide receivers here. I need to take a look at this board. Like Buka's gonna go before that probably, but no, I haven't. But all right, I'm in the 6th round. I only have one running back. Swift is kind of right there, but as you can see, I have like a ton of receivers ranked ahead of him. Let me just check ADP though. Swift is there. This is the 6'5". So this is a classic hero running back team, right? So getting a 5th wide receiver here does fit in. Yeah, it's fine. There's just been recent studies. Hayden Winks has talked about wide receivers being heavily overdrafted in these rounds. But I'm going to go for it and grab Olave there. Prior to August, let's say, for the past week, I've kind of been backing off of Jennings with his ankle or foot or whatever he's holding in with. It's his calf, right? Sidelined by calf again, 7 hours ago. All right. So, well, he's probably still sidelined. He wants a new contract, and he might be just playing injured. But the longer it goes, the more nervous I'm getting about it. And he hasn't really fallen in ADP. It was going later in early season ADP. So, like, getting him with injury risk in the 6th round is not very appealing to me. I've been drafting Diggs ahead of him, but he's gone. My Olave shares might be getting a little bit too high. I probably need to switch to Debo. If he's healthy, and it seems like McLaurin's got that hold in going, Debo is worth drafting there. But if it comes back around, I'm probably going to have to go Swift or Pacheco, just because the Hayden Winks studies I was talking about earlier, he says that you should really have, well, no more than 4 wide receivers through 7. He even really said he leans more towards 3 through 6. And it fits the pocket anywhere where these tons of receivers go. But he says we're drafting wide receivers too high. We need to mix in high-end quarterback, high-end tight end, or a couple of running backs, or 3 running backs even. Those are the teams that end up making the final round, are the team builds that are more evenly built. So I've been hedging that way a lot this year, but not here. So we'll see. German Shepherd. German Shepherds are great dogs, aren't they? All right, so this is the Baltimore stack. I need to keep Mark Andrews in my mind. We're in the 7th round, so probably not yet. Although my actual rankings that I published, and actually I need to import them into here because I actually like the rankings I published today. I published the best ball rankings today, so you might want to check that out. wheelrouteff.com. It's the top article right there. Just some overall rankings. And I planned on having a downloadable cheat sheet there that you could upload right into here. And I would say I'll have that this weekend, but I definitely won't have it this weekend because I will be in Vancouver this weekend. So maybe next week. Next week, I'm going to have redraft rankings with a cheat sheet. So I might also include that with best ball, although I might put it behind a paywall because last year I had over 1,000 downloads of my redraft cheat sheet. So if I could get $5 for each of them, that'd be cool. Or even half of them. But anyway, so maybe I'll do best ball and start a little membership there. All right, so I have only 3 receivers, 2 running backs. I need receiver here. Let's put the running backs away. By my rank, there's only one choice. By ADP, Shakir is hobbled, so he could fall further. I will get Shakir if he does fall further, but I will also grab Tony Pollard if he falls. Hawkinson if he falls. I have no need for Mahomes. Mooney needs to fall more for me to grab him. Higgins is there. That might be a reach when we get there, but let's get there when we get there. I'm gonna go with Godwin here. If he's healthy, that is a league-winning pick. If he's healthy, chances are he's not. At least to start the season, but he'll be healthy when it counts, right? No, I just picked that. Come on. I'm slipping, folks. I'm slipping. All right. So, 5th round. Looks like I started a rainbow, but won't be finishing it. DJ Moore, George Pickens, Devontae Smith. When the ranks and ADP agree, you just can't deny it. Even though I love my Pickens. I was soft fading DJ Moore, and actually in the 4th round, there's no reason to soft fade DJ Moore. Just like I wanted to see how far he'd fall. But in that experts charity draft I was in Sean Corner picked him in the relatively early in the third. I think it was a 304 or 305. And he's been the best ranker for most of the past decade. So if he's drafting him in the third, I can certainly draft him in the fourth. And there goes Diggs sitting for me there in the late sixth. I have been missing out on Reed, Golden, and Egbuka because I'm going with Diggs, but I didn't go with Diggs before maybe last week. I probably have very little Diggs. I do have 4 receivers, so getting a fifth is, there we go with the hero RB again. Man, that receiver core is really, really good. I don't have anything to stack with Burrow, Swift. I can get Pacheco or Montgomery on the way back, or even Pollard. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna go with Diggs. Talked about him earlier. If he's healthy with Drake May, he could have a big year, and his best years, or some of his best years, are his first year with the team. Man, I am really going with, I wanted to say hero RB, but there's been not negative press on Breece Hall, but positive press about his backups. So he's been, I was going to say he's been falling, so I probably got him in the fourth, but I didn't. But I probably drafted him like 4 or 5 days ago. Anyway, so the air quote hero RB build, I have like next to no Roma Dunze, so I just moved him ahead of Juwan Jennings. And so I don't have much of Dunze. I don't have DJ Moore. He's a stackable piece with Caleb. I should have looked at that too. No. Yeah, the quarterbacks were gone. Wow. The only stackable wide receiver I have on this team is Puka. And that's a shaky stack. All right, the rest of them. The Eagles, the Commanders, and Ravens quarterbacks already went. And I don't usually get much Zay Flowers, so I probably should have gone with Jennings there. So one of the things, I don't pay very close attention to my distribution of players, my how many shares I have, my ownership levels. I can't find the words right now. Anyway, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it, except when certain ones get particularly high and are hurt. And I don't want to have too much of the hurt players. But here, so I guess I got McLaurin a few picks behind ADP. I don't have very much of any of these players just because I've been grabbing like CMC ahead of Puka, but Puka's been falling. So since Puka's been falling, I have been getting more of them. I don't have much AJ Brown because I was getting a lot of Jonathan Taylor and Brock Bowers and kind of just overlooking AJ Brown. I have been a soft fade of McLaurin. I might have auto draft that. I'm surprised I actually drafted him. Very little Zay Flowers. I just don't think he has much upside. Roma Dunze, he could be the 3rd or 4th target on his own team. So I don't have much of any of them, and you shouldn't do that. Like, you should throw in the guys you don't have a whole lot of on teams where they're blending with the guys you do have a whole lot of. So this isn't a really great portfolio type build. and it's heavily relying on Breece Hall. So it's not looking great right now. I'm probably going to overdraft running back at some point. Or I might that might be a team I only go with 6 receivers, or like stop at receiver and only get stacks for I won't go above 7 receivers on this team. No way. Because I'm going to need at least 6 running backs on that squad. All right, so where are we here? 7th round, I have 4 receivers and 2 run. I started a lot of teams Barkley Taylor. I have high expectations of Jonathan Taylor this year. I think Jonathan Taylor I think he has a chance to be a top 5 running back. I think he'll definitely be in the top 10. If you look at the last, I think 3 games of the season last year, where Jonathan Taylor just had a chip on his shoulder, like was pissed off they hadn't used him more during the season, it seemed like. Really, I think there was some report like he's no longer a bell cow, and he had enough of that crap. So he had a couple of really tremendous games to end last season. I wish they gave us a game log choice in this. I can't even click on it. Did they give a game log? Yeah. I feel like they used to have game logs for these players. Maybe that's the in-season drafting, the battle royales, which we'll be doing here for certain. For sure. Okay, so it looks like Matthew Golden's pretty much my just fall in my lap choice. Was complaining that I was getting too much digs over him earlier. Cool. I'm happy with that. Would have preferred Igbuka, but need my golden shares. Not my golden showers, my golden shares. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. All right. Sorry, kids. You don't have to know what that is for quite a while. All right, so I got Fields in this one. 3 running backs, Hampton, Cook, Pacheco. I need to go to the draft. Give myself some more room there. All right. 3 running backs, 5 receivers, tight end, so tight end and quarterback are probably my targets. Justin Jefferson, and so my ranks have JJ McCarthy quite a bit back, but ADP, JJ needs to go with JJ, right? Oh, I hope it didn't cross up bye weeks. Nope. Good stuff. And if Herbert falls, I have Lad McConkey. Not scared to go 3 running backs in the zone. What else? So that was 126. So I got like 12 picks before it comes back to me. I haven't gotten any Mims. I would love for Hollywood to fall. There goes Tootin again, but I said before that I want to just start Tank before I get there. I will start Tootin. Kyle Williams only when I have Drake May, which is rare. I am rankings. I feel par with ADP. I think Drake May is going where he should. It just seems as though every draft I'm in, he's being drafted before he even flies on my radar. Although coming up, he should be popping up on my radar more because I do have Diggs. So that's what it is. It's like I haven't had a lot of his receivers to begin with, so I kind of overlook them. And even the back stack isn't there because I do have so much Justin Fields. I need to stop dropping Fields. I just have too much of them, and that's too high a risk to take. I just did make this pick after I set up the next pick in this draft. So if it does come back to me, I will need tight end. But I can get them late. I might grab Najee. Quentin Johnson. Only if I get Herbert. Dylan Sampson sitting there. Trey Benson. All right. So even Rashad White. I would grab a naked Pitts. Ooh, that doesn't sound right. Anyway. Pitts, I think, has the upside. I feel like I need to start overdrafting Pitts again like I have in previous years. I've pretty much had a full fade on him for quite a while this season, but have gone back to heavily drafting him once again. All right, let's open. Actually, I'm going to check something real quick. I want to see... completed, not preseason, regular season, best ball, exposure. Just give an idea. Cam Ward, Justin Fields, but they're still both beneath 20. Purdy, Bryce Young. As you can see, I've been getting those quarterbacks in the zone or even later as my quarterbacks. I have way too much Marshawn Lloyd, way too much Breece Hall, Roshan. Hopefully that turns out. Paishal Tootin. But Marshawn Lloyd's the only one at least he's under 30% now. But not a lot of money on it. So yeah, I stayed at low stakes drafts in Underdog. Just these tournaments are so hard to realize your money. The ROI is minimal, so I don't spend a lot in these streets. Although after I get through my NFFC drafts and FFPC drafts, which is only about a dozen total, they're the higher end state best ball tournaments. I will be doing a lot more of these, or any site that wants to sponsor me, I will definitely pimp myself out there. Wide receivers, I'm high on Burden, Godwin, Tet, Worthy, Michael Wilson late. I need to back off Burden now. Oh, I got plenty of Godwin. I don't need him at all. Tet, I should probably ease up on. Worthy, I'm fine with. Michael Wilson's fine. All of these are kind of fine. Maybe softer on Devontae and Alave. But I'm pretty happy with all my exposure there. And then, yeah, Kittle, McBride, and Bowers, I'm super high on. And then the later, Conquo. I must have a lot of Cam Ward and then just stacking a Conquo. Evan Engram always seemed to fall in that zone. I've been soft fading him lately, though. And then some late round. I'm glad I got that much Henry. All right. Pretty even exposure. Very, very even exposure on the tight end front. All right. Just wanted to check that. Let's go back to the active drafts. I'm going to do this until I reach these 10-hour clock ones. So I got 5 more left in me. 5 left till bedtime. Long past bedtime. So I got JJ queued up. I got Jordan Addison. All right, so I do have Fields stacked in this one, so that's good. Bijan, Bucky, and Jalen Warren certainly don't need a running back, but I did. Warren has the same bye week as Bijan, so I got to keep an eye on that. Let me just. I have enough in my queue that I can just look at ADP at this one. So. Bo Nix is gone, so I can't stack Denver. Oh, and ADP, JJ's right there. I can stack him with Addison. I usually like it better when he has Hawkinson as well, or JJ, but maybe I'll last round grab Jalen Naylor or something. Could go tight end, Tucker Kraft, and then I could go Tucker Kraft. Let's see, but I won't pick for a while. And oh, Love's already gone. Never mind. So I probably had. Oh no, JJ's the way to go. I did my thinking earlier. Shouldn't have dwelled in that decision. Keep her moving. Pomeranian. 11-10, so I'll have one coming back relatively soon. Started off with Josh Allen. Got 3 running backs. And I missed this. I missed both stacks. Mims, Burden, Rasheed, Trey Harris. Yeah, Keon Coleman went in the 9th. And where is... I'm not Khalil Shakur in the 7th. All right. There's probably something I can stack. Allen with later. Josh Palmer. I don't have any. Elijah Moore at the very end. Even Curtis Samuel at the very end. But I need to keep an eye out for Kincaid, actually. I will star him. Just so I get a visual. Oh, he's ADP 1. Oh, he's higher in my rankings than ADP, probably. No, I have him. Let me flip to ADP. Kincaid's right there. Do I want to go with Stroud for the Nico Collins stack? Well. Oh, no. No, Stroud is actually right there. Stroud and Kincaid are both smart picks. Let's see what else I can do, though. So, it's either stack Houston here or shoot myself in the foot. Let's go Plaxico and shoot ourselves in the foot. I really want to stack Josh Allen. I don't have much Kincaid, and I think that's actually a mistake. The 3rd year breakout for tight ends, right? Like that was always the moniker before we got Laporta breaking out as a rookie and Bowers last year. 3rd year breakout is more common than what we've been seeing the past 2 years. And Laporta wasn't supposed to break out like that. Laporta got 10 touchdowns. Like, that was just an anomaly. And he regressed last year, and now even this coming year, I don't have much of him. I think we just saw a team with him on it. But, he was on that team. That team I just drafted Kincaid was a Laporta team. So I don't have a whole lot of faith in Laporta. I have very little of him. All right, so I've been passing up Jawan Jennings all the time. But as we discussed earlier, Diggs is going ahead of him. Doesn't seem that way in ADP. Yeah, Jennings was still one of my most owned. I'm going Diggs again. Actually, Diggs might catch up and surpass a lot of receivers through these slow drafts. That's the one thing. I wish Underdog counted players in the ownership shares as they were being drafted instead of after they're done. I guess they want to make sure the draft isn't canceled, but that isn't gonna. So few of these are canceled that shouldn't really matter. All right. So I can go in different directions on the next turn. It won't be for a while though. So just like to queue a few up, even though they'll probably be gone. All right. Coming up on the end here. Those that I still have 10 hours left on the clock, I leave them for when I literally wake up in the middle of the night and just my head's racing. So pulling up the tablet and drafting a couple of teams has never hurts anyone. And I just said I need to start soft fading Burden. I have Lamar on this team. Strong at running back, but I only have 4 receivers, so I can go 5th receiver. And I have, oh, that's right. So I have Lamar stacked with Zay and Mark Andrews. The team doesn't need Bateman. By ADP, Caleb is actually ahead of Burden, and I do have DJ Moore already. I don't have enough Caleb. Let's go there. He's stacked with DJ Moore. There's always a chance that Burden kind of slides and slips. Probably not a whole round, but yeah, I doubt either of those wide receivers will come back to me. But what the heck? I felt it. I wanted it. I took it. I will. Draft probably isn't going to be there. Oh. Excuse me. Loveland before Kraft. In fact, yeah, I'll move him ahead of Spears. Chicago, Baltimore, Philly, Minnesota. Not worried about that, or that. He'll probably go running back next turn. We shall see, though. Cue up Najee, Dylan Sampson, Benson, Bigsby. Let me just move Bigsby up. And that should be good going into next round. All right, this is probably the last one, unless the other one dips under 10-hour clock. All right. Don't know what I have here. All right, Bijan, Tyreek, Cortland Sutton, Devontae Smith, and Trey McBride. Like this team. I could go 4th running back. 4th receiver. Or 2nd running back. No running back I strongly desire. Good receivers. I haven't gotten Myers in a while, although do have very little Judy. Actually, they're probably all relatively even exposures. Give myself... I'm going to go with Myers because of the better stack late. I guess I could have gone with Reed, but... Oh, I'm going to get him on the bounce back. I'm going to get one of these on the bounce back. I should probably get Pacheco on the bounce back, though, which means actually, if I had thought about it, I'm right on the turn. There's only one running back I really like here at ADP anyway. I guess Pollard. I don't mind that. But I hate to pull either Pacheco or Pollard up to the 6th. But the play here, because I'm soft at running back, would have been to pull one of them up, probably Pacheco, so that I get any one of that choice. So I basically have the same choice coming back, even though he'll probably go 2 receivers. We'll see. I might pass up Pacheco on the way back and get one of those receivers because they're juicy. All right, so everything that remains has a 10-hour clock. There's no way I'm going to sleep for 10 straight hours. I know I wake up in the middle of the night. So I am going to be, I'm 5 minutes away from 3 hours. Actually, let me make it to the 3-hour mark. I'm 4 minutes away from the 3-hour mark. I might as well do 1 or 2 more of these, pull it over the 3-hour mark. I believe there are not incentives, but if you go over the hour mark, it looks better to YouTube for the algorithm. I believe it feeds the algorithm when you go beyond the hour marks. So, 5th round is Zay Flowers. Actually, I have Rashee Rice ahead of Zay Flowers. Ooh, Travis Hunter and Calvin Ridley are probably smarter picks. No? Well, let me look at this team. No, this is a solid build to start. We got Gibbs, Adams, Pickens, Bowers. Here's, I'm contemplating drafting Ray Rice here. Even if we could consider a 6-game suspension, having Ray Rice, even if he doesn't come back to full speed, although he should come back full speed if he's suspended 6 games, I think it's only going to be. Do I genuinely think it's only going to be 3? Here's my other hesitation. Rashee Rice has the same bye week as George Pickens, but then again, Travis Hunter has the same bye week as Devontae Adams. I actually like Rashee Rice, Travis Hunter more than Zay Flowers. Yeah, they have higher upside. So does Ridley have higher upside than Zay Flowers. Although Zay Flowers, now that he's going in the 5th, I have started to get him. There's RJ Harvey, but I already have. Oh, is RJ Harvey going? Oh, I have him ranked higher than consensus. I hope RJ Harvey makes it to the 6th. I will grab him there. I'm gonna get Rashee Rice. This is almost exactly where I have him ranked. Although Jalen, if I had an Eagles receiver, I'd be all over Jalen Hurts right there. But I'm gonna grab some Rashee Rice and just stay away from that Week 10 bye with any other receivers, unless I get. So I've run into the problem before. I had this one amazing team early on, might have been pre-draft, where I had a Dallas stack and a Kansas City stack. And then I realized in the 16th, 17th round, I'm like, oh, crud. They both have the same bye week. So I had to get Daniel Jones or something stupid at quarterback. It was probably maybe Tyler Shuck or something. It's just who wants to get a 3rd quarterback when you've got, now knowing better, getting a 3rd quarterback is a smarter move. It seems like the 3-5-7-3 build is optimal for making finals, but getting through the season and also getting through the gauntlet of weeks at the end in the playoffs. So I don't know. Regardless, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I would stop. Actually, I'm going to stop talking here and leave these for the bye week and make it to 3 hours in the next 10 seconds. Really appreciate you being here, staying for the whole show. If you missed any parts of it, go back, play it back. Pleasure seeing you. Pleasure having you. Thanks for being here. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Visit wheelrouteff.com. Follow me on Blue Sky. Have a great night.